profits him to behave a certain way in school to his advantage, to have a certain attitude. And let him know that his attitude determines his altitude. And that you do certain things in the school that's uplifting, that's motivating, and inspiring.
Mr. Lanier, when you think about the metropolitan school system and you think in terms of being a female, let's look at it from a female's perspective. What are some of the issues in the system within the framework of what we're talking about today? What are some of the issues in the system that young females are concerned about or should be concerned about? How does that work?
I think a big factor, and especially since the Metropolitan Nashville Public School Board, as recently as this year, has updated policies on zero tolerance. And with the recent announcement that they're going to open up Twitter and these other elements, no one is looking at social media and how detrimental it is to all of our youth, but especially our young ladies. Bullying is totally different than when we were in school and they pulled our pigtails or, you know, or pushed us or maybe tripped us. There are some very nasty things that are communicated about these young ladies and to these young ladies. And sadly, you know, we're hearing, you know, more, you know, attempts of suicide. And also, young ladies are not realizing that things that they may do at social media today, just as if you robbed a bank, will follow you in essence in the future. I have a friend who deals with student aid, and she said that one of the first things they do before they decide whether or not they're going to give a student any type of financial aid is they go out on social media to see what type of student this is. So you could be a straight A student, never got in trouble, but because of one single misjudgment on social media, you know, be passed over for financial aid, for a job, or numerous other things.
You know, Pastor, I think that that's one of the things that we rarely think about in terms of how detrimental some of this can be to our young people. And
Absolutely. You know, Dr. Haney, here's what we want to really have the Metropolitan Nashville Public School system feel. We want them to feel the presence of the Educational Committee of the NAACP as well as the full backing of the NAACP when it comes to and relates to our children's education. We have an expectation, Dr. Haney, that if a person is in the school system as an educator, we have an expectation that when a parent send their child into that school system, that their child is being educated, that their child is being treated right, their child is being treated fairly, and being treated with a level of professionalism. We have an expectation that the principals in the system, when it comes to this zero tolerance thing, that they exercise more flexibility than they're exercising instead of just booting the children out of the school system as a whole, you know, in terms of, and rather than trying to find a way to teach them. Well, Mr. Stewart talks very well about this character education. So if we got zero tolerance and you got the possibility, the potential of character education, which is active in some school systems, I think in Texas, Houston and stuff like that, but why not here in Metro? These are things that we want to see implemented within the Metro Nashville Public School system, because we want to be able to find a way to properly educate our children, and we want them to be educated by trained professionals who's going to act in a professional manner. It's not going to be disrespectful toward our children and the like, because if those things are happening, rest assured that the NAACP, we're looking, we're watching, we're going to be at your meetings, we're going to be in your face, we're going to be where we need to be so that we can guarantee that a child, a mother who sends her child, a father who sends his child to the school system, that they can have a reasonable assurance that when they go off to work and when they retrieve their child in the evening, their child has been exposed to an environment that cares, concern, and is properly educating that child. And we're not settling for anything less than that. This is what we expect, this is what we're moving toward, and this is what we're going to accomplish in this situation.
Very good. Mr. Stewart, we've got 3 minutes. Let's start off simply by summarizing some of the things that you would like to see done in reference to what we're talking about, and then allow Mr. Lanier to continue on, and then we'll wrap it up for the day.
We also hear a lot of comments about when young